Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon, we're joined by Frank and Danielle Sheahan from the West Usk Lighthouse in Newport. And we're
Hi.
going to have a little chat about business and all
Yeah.
of that and just see where it takes us. How are you both doing today? You okay?
Yes, fine, thanks,
Yeah,
Mike. Yeah,
it's
good to see
our
you.
wedding anniversary today, so we're going to go out to a pub to celebrate. So that's going to be nice. We haven't been to a pub for how many weeks
over
now?
4 months, weeks,
Over
months.
4 months we haven't been to a restaurant, and so today we're taking advantage of the £10 discount per person.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, congratulations on the anniversary. And yeah, I haven't been out anywhere yet, but I want to go out at some point to take advantage of that deal at some point. Yeah,
Yeah, it's from Monday to Wednesday. So
that's right.
yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And apparently, when you go into the pub, I don't know if they take your temperature or not,
They'll
but
take your money.
there'll be somebody at the door to let you in. And
Yeah. What pub you going to? Somewhere local?
Dragonfly.
Oh, the Dragonfly. Yeah, okay, I know it. Yeah. So yeah, the place I usually start my entrepreneur chats is usually around the lockdown. You know how it's been for the particular businesses and the business people I'm speaking to, and if they've done any sort of thing in their business or pivoted to a new business or anything during that time. So which one of you wants to take that one?
I'll start with that one. That's okay. Yeah. Obviously, running a bed and breakfast and a wedding venue, which we had for many, many years now, it's quite difficult to get physical jobs done when you've got guests coming in and out all the time. And so you may have a mirror of about 2 or 3 hours. But of course, the lockdown, which is a shock, all of a sudden you've got plenty of time to catch up with all the electrical work, some plumbing, plaster. During the lockdown, I've actually learned how to plaster, which is a real art form. So although I'm not earning any money, I'm actually saving money by doing these jobs and having someone else come in and do it. As you know, our friend Mark, which you recommended, a lovely fella, was helping out. But I don't have to pay Mark; he's in Spain anyway. But I mean, I can carry on and do those jobs. So though I'm not earning any money, I'm saving money.
Yeah. And obviously you like to do those things, get stuck in anyway, don't you? So I suppose you've been in your element.
You can't hold back. If you've ever got to go forward in business, there's no point in sitting back. It just doesn't work. You've got to go forward and don't look back. Just keep going. Today I've been outside putting foundations for some new lampposts for the wedding market. So we bought a marquee, which hasn't arrived yet, a second-hand marquee. A lovely lady had an events business, I think Devon or was it Devon?
No,
Somerset was it? Oh no,
Chesham.
Chesham. Sorry, no. But anyway, we've bought a marquee from her, which is quite a good deal. It's got all the interior flooring we need, lighting, and some chandeliers and things. So we're all set up. Obviously, with the COVID situation, it is very concerning with the hospitality sector, because obviously our income is bed and breakfast. People come into your home and your house as a business, and also the weddings. So we're getting quite a lot of inquiries, which we're saying to people, well, look, we can't really honestly do anything this year for the moment because we don't know how it's going to pan out, and we won't be allowed to anyway for the moment. So next year, everybody's hoping it's going to be the worst of it will be behind us, and we can get back to normal business. And we're praying that's going to be the case.
Yeah. Is that the weddings next year, or is that the B&B and the weddings?
B&B and the weddings. We really want to promote the weddings. The B&B with COVID is a bit of a concern because you've got the general public coming into your own home. If it was a hotel, you can move away. You may have a home or house outside the hotel, and it's a little bit more easy to run. But when you live in the premises and you've got the general public coming in, you don't really have any control as to who might bring that COVID in.
Yeah.
And so we're going to concentrate on the weddings, which we'll hold outside the lighthouse in our grounds. And that doesn't seem to be too much of a problem for people. the bride and groom would come into the lighthouse to actually sign the register, but it'll only be them and the registrars, you know. So that will cut down on some of the risk aspects.
Yeah.
But, you got what else could you do? You got like private parties and other things you can do in your marquee in the midweek.
Yes, you can have network meetings, and they've had an inquiry for an engagement party, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what we'll be doing. Concentrate on using the marquee to its full capacity, because the marquee will be able to sit 80 odd people. So
that's social distanced, 80 social distance.
And it would have the, you know, the vents, so you'd have flaps, so you'd have good airflow coming through.
Yeah.
Whereas your normal business premises is a bit more risky.
Yeah, and also, the flaps will be up, and also where we are, it's beautiful, you know,
sunshine,
by the sea, and
fresh air,
and people can walk around the seawall. So it's not like in a hotel room where everyone is indoors, but you know, people can walk around and. You know, I don't know.
It's a shame you can't take advantage of this sort of staycation market this year. Can't you two go into like book out the whole lighthouse, the open space, if you like, the non-guest house area for say weeks, and you go into somewhere else, and you could, you know, they would be paying for you to go elsewhere, and you make a bit on the difference.
Yeah, no, that's a possibility. We've had loads of inquiries from Airbnb. You know, just like before, we never received anything from them, and all of a sudden, every day we get loads. And I keep saying to them, "I'm sorry, we're closed," but that's a really good idea where we could.
I definitely look at that. Yeah, if you can get a family, you know, a bubble, you know, a bubble into the lighthouse, into the whole thing. They rent the whole thing. You just go. I know you've got another place, but I think you've got tenants in there. But I don't know if there's any room elsewhere. But you might be able to just go in like another hotel, like the St. Mellons or the.
No, that's closed down, Mike.
It's in administration.
It's closed down.
That's good for you. That's a bit more business your way as well. A bit more midweek and whatever as well.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, but we're more of a destination type. Venue, aren't we?
Yeah.
So people do tend to travel
and we're
all
not
over the
cheap. Place. This is the other thing, you know. People want like £60, which they can get in a.
People are really looking for a bargain, you know. With,
I know that, but I think there are some people who will value the uniqueness of a week in a lighthouse as well. You know?
That's our unique selling point, the lighthouse, for sure.
But at the same time, we don't want people to use the lighthouse while we're not here, so I don't think that's a proposition. No, we're concentrating on the wedding side of it, but we're thinking about self-catering units, for example, shepherd's huts, maybe, pods.
Self-catering.
And we've also got a static caravan, so you know, which we're doing up at the moment.
For the moment,
yeah. Have you spoke to Visit Wales?
Well, they actually contacted us. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
They wanted to come down and do something on the lighthouse with a drone and the rest of it, but they wanted to stay inside the lighthouse.
I know.
But for the moment, we just can't do that.
No, but I know Visit Wales are giving grants, etc., for people to in the tourism sector to expand. You know, especially in the Newport area, if it's corporate quality accommodation.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're looking to attract and grow the places people can stay around the new arena. You know, the ICC arena.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you're in high end.
Celtic Manor, they're coming into the high street. Apparently, they're having serviced accommodation. You know, in the market.
Yeah.
In the market, they're going to take over a lot of the space there.
The market in Newport, yeah.
Yeah, they do. The market now is closed, and they're going to do it all up, refurbish.
Yeah.
And the Celtic Manor, that's what they're doing, is to do proper corporate accommodation.
You know those really modern caravans, you know, with the verandas and stuff, you know, and the wooden, the wooden UPVC windows and stuff, high end, like, you know. You might
Yeah.
put a couple of them around in the grounds, and you might be able to get Visit Wales to fund that. So all of a sudden you've got like corporate quality accommodation, like the rest of the rooms in your lighthouse, but they're external, and obviously the ICC are going to be sending people, if you can get into that marketplace, as and when they start doing the big events again, and that starts growing, there's going to be a tap, if you like, of constant flow of corporates and people exhibiting and events and stuff from there. And you're not that far away. You're only, 10, 15 minutes in the car?
The Celtic Manor, one of the representatives there, the public relations or marketing lady, she's been here and she's approved the rooms.
Yeah.
So she has said that, yes, they will be sending people to us.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. Obviously, with COVID, you can't do it much at the moment. But they are.
You're on like an approved supplier list, if you like.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much they need people like you, Lucy, is that they're not waiting for you to go to them. They're going out seeking you, because they're aware that these people who are going to be going to their events and exhibiting and all that, they need places to stay.
Yeah. So Visit Wales, are you sure they're giving grants?
Yeah, definitely. I went to a Visit Wales event. They do a 4 parts of Wales tour, where they go out and they talk to the community. And I went to one in Cwmbran, in the hotel in Cwmbran, a nice hotel there. They do a lot of after dinner speaking events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to an event there about 2 years ago, I think, maybe. Yeah, something like that. And so at the time they were saying they were offering grants to anyone around the Newport area who was willing to put corporate quality accommodation into their grounds, farmland, anywhere, and those yurts and gypsy caravans and all that are good, but they're quite small. But if you could get, some bigger places, which, I'm not sure what they would class as corporate quality, but I'm pretty sure if you spoke to them, they would tell you. And then if they were able to offer a grant, that might help you, shape the type of accommodation that you want to put in the grounds. You might be able to do a deal with the farmer as well. That's grounds next to you.
Yeah, I think that's worth following up, Mike. Thank you for that. The only thing is, Newport Borough Council, they're so negative when it comes to any planning issues. Basically, everything's like a no.
Yeah.
You just go ahead and put your hands up and see where it goes, because they've got to change their attitude now.
Yeah.
I think so. They've got a reputation of being, well, I've already said it, extremely negative when it comes to regulations and planning, and it's killing business. It's killing.
Can they stop? I didn't think they could stop temporary accommodation. I think they can only stop permanent structure.
We got planning permission for the lighthouse. It incorporated the ground as a unit for accommodation.
Yeah.
And as you probably know, we had a beautiful Mongolian yurt in the grounds for about 3.5 years. Then it came to their attention, and I had terrible trouble with them. And we were forced eventually to get rid of it. And
was that though because that's more a permanent structure, because you couldn't just
it's a semi-permanent, but it's a tent basically.
Yeah.
But we had families coming into the area from all over the place for the yurt, and they were spending money in the restaurants and the pubs. The kids were loving it. It was outdoors. It was
there's no reason for the council not to have it, but because they follow their rules and their sticklers. The rules, I think, because it was semi-permanent. Whereas if you put something in which is movable, so if you put in those caravans, I don't think they can stop you. That's my understanding, but I don't know. But so that's what I would know.
With the shepherd's huts, I think if they've got wheels, you can move them every 28 days.
As long as you can move them, as long as they're mobile, I don't think they can stop you. It's your ground, and it's legally they can't prevent it, Well,
unfortunately, once you do plumbing like sewage into the caravan, electric, water, they regard that as being a permanent structure.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, they've got you every way. Nothing's easy, I'm afraid.
I'm making my point in life, though, to learn rules well enough to know where you can bend them.
Well, sometimes you just got to do things and keep your fingers crossed. And and plead ignorance. And,
Well, that's it, you know.
but they're
Sometimes you just got to get on it,
businesses.
like family. You can't work with the confines and the restrictions that people put on you. Sometimes you just gotta make
But
it. You know what I mean?
It's a brave new world now. We
Yeah.
need business people to invest in the economy and take chances and risks, and we don't with this bloody red tape holding us back. We need
No,
more.
you know, to me, the human race benefits by leaders, by people who are willing to, you know, stand up and drive forward. We would never have
In the
invested
civil service,
in America.
took over the world, we'd all be living in bloody caves.
Yeah, exactly. If we, you know, if so, you know, so sometimes you have to just I take rules with a pinch of salt. You know, if they're there for the good of everybody, then
Rules are guidelines to be broken half the time.
yeah, rules are just areas to push against to see where they can stretch.
And also they can make more money out of you by implementing them and giving you licenses and grants. It's a lovely way to make money for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So
they will have to change their tune. I think people will rise up and say no to a lot of these stringent regulations.
Exactly. If they weren't for people who bended and pushed rules, then what would happen is there'd be revolutions all of the time, and so the people will get their way anyway. So you're doing them a favour by pushing their rules a little bit and creating some air, some oxygen, and some energy for things to be created.
No.
Well, there is central government. To be fair to them, they try to influence local government to be more flexible, but they just drag their heels. They're sort of stuck in this psychological fog or rule book, and that's their mental psyche. And to try and break that is very difficult.
Yeah, but the problem with public sector is everything takes so long because of the red tape.
Yeah,
people lose the energy and the drive and the momentum. So, which is why nothing really happens a lot of the time.
Well, it can wear you down, that's for sure. I think that's part of the ploy, to wear you down with the regulations and the form filling. And oh God Almighty!
Yeah,
I'd love to go into politics if I thought I could make a difference. And I'm about making a difference in life. And actually, the system and the red tape and that is not there. It's not there designed to help you do anything. So, what's the point?
On the contrary, on the contrary. Yeah.
I mean, I think COVID is going to bring us hope as well, you know, because all these structures will have to be got rid of because some of them are too stringent, you know, that like HMOs, for example, you know, like the red tape that we had to go through to get the license. And then, you know, the fire alarm system, the sprinklers, in normal circumstances, you know,
it's a relatively normal house, but every week you have to go there and test every week you have to test the fire alarm system.
Yeah, every week you have to go and test it.
It's a brand new system.
I know.
And we've got a contractor who goes there every 3 months just to make sure. And you've got a big panel. If there's any problems, it tell you on the panel. But, you know, you've got to go there and the rules are.
Yeah, a lot of landlords are going to just give up because they're not getting any help from the government. And the tenants don't have to pay anything. So
apparently, though, the strategy there is they're trying to get smaller landlords out of the marketplace. So there's just the bigger boys, because you see, what it is, it's easier for them to manage a small number of large people than it is for them to manage a large number of small people. So that's why sometimes they drive you out. You know?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. I know. Yeah,
and also trying to drive out the small businesses, all the little coffee shops, so that Starbucks will take over and McDonald's will be everywhere on every street.
Take over the world.
But with COVID-19, you know, the reason, you know, a lot of people are being affected is because they eat rubbish from McDonald's and rubbish from.
McDonald's going to see this on YouTube. They're going to come and careful now.
No, they've changed. They've changed a little bit.
What you mean is they don't have a well-balanced diet and they just constantly have poor nutritional diets, which is not good. You know, I like McDonald's myself, but you know, just now and then, you know, you have it with a well-balanced diet. And I think as long as people live on these, they've made
some progress with the vegetarian burgers and things, but the fries, the way they cook the chips and the rest of it, But there we go. But people do love it, so I'm not knocking it. You know.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I think everything's in moderation, isn't it? But again, I think
Yeah,
the rich,
that's the key word, moderation. Yeah.
yeah, and the rich tapestry of life is great, for lots of people being involved, and not there just being faceless corporates running everything. I think that's what the rich tapestry of life. Places like the West Usk Lighthouse wouldn't exist if it was just everything was run by corporates. It takes it takes unique people and people to do something a little bit different to come up with accommodation that's a little bit different and a bit quirky and a bit different. And I think I'm all for men, women, people having the power to have an impact on their own and not have to be part of a faceless conglomeration to do it.
And they're trying to standardize everything, and we want individuality.
Yeah.
People are individuals, but they're trying to have us all cloned all the same and think the same way.
Well, they tried to do the same with music and stuff over the years, with things like the X Factor and Simon Cowell and stuff, and like people like Ed Sheeran and Adele, and now they come out and they fight the opposite. People gravitate towards them because they're real and they're authentic and they're different, and they're not just the same churned out rubbish as the last one and the ones before that and the ones before that. So to me, life's about being unique. It's about being different. It's about being authentic.
Well, in the music industry, there's this artificial intelligence which will be writing songs in the future. So your individual songwriter, he's no longer be the copywriter or the creator. It's going to be a computer. They've analysed, what makes a hit record, and they've dissected it, and they've put an IT computer in there, and that's the way songs will be written in the future. And we're all going to be. That sounds all right.
All of these analyses, though, what they don't realise is that they're forming a new analysis at the time they're implementing it, and what people like is change and variety and mixture. But by going through the process, they're upsetting people and changing the rules, if you like. They're making people go, okay, well, actually, that's what we used to like, but there's too much of it now, so therefore we like something different. And that will always happen. People will always like variety. People will always want to stay in a lighthouse,
Yeah, people have got this creative aspect in all of us, I think sometimes it gets dumbed down from a very early age, when you go to school. They tend to dumb down your creativity, and it comes
form, aren't you?
Yeah, I think to actually get out of that system, or to be a bit of a rebel or a revolutionary, it takes a certain psychological type. You just have so much, and you're thinking, that's enough. That's a tipping point. I'm now going to be a rebel. I've had enough.
Exactly one of them. I'm all for anarchy.
We need more people like that, I think. Yeah, more rebels.
Non-conformist, you know what I mean? Like I say, to me, there's a certain amount of internet.
AI, they're gonna know who you are. They're gonna know what you're doing, and everything you do on Facebook, it's all recorded. All your texts are recorded. So I don't know whether we can be that creative.
I think so. I think so. I think they'll always.
Future, we just robots will design everything. You've got 3D machines that can make anything, and apparently also that women wouldn't need to have babies in the couple of decades naturally.
Yeah.
And they'll test
that already happens now, doesn't it? Yeah. So yeah,
designer babies,
stuff will happen. But...
Oh yeah, designer babies, but really a lot of women won't want to do that.
To go through birth. Yeah.
So we don't know where this world is going, and with COVID,
well, you've got to look at what is valuable. It used to be in the past, oil was very valuable. Oil was liquid gold. What is gold now is data.
Yeah.
And that's where they're collecting everything. That's where the gold is now. And that's why these corporate companies are data, because it's valuable to them. But that data is basically about you and me and how we can be commercially exploited, basically, through marketing and the rest of it.
Yeah. But,
back to the lighthouse.
Yeah, go back to the lighthouse, sorry. We're having a go. We're having a whinge, yeah.
That's what happens when people who are non-conformists end up chatting. We talk about random subject matters that come into your head. And,
yeah. We'll come back to the lighthouse, really. Yeah. So the marquee, we would be able to sit down 80 guests, and there'll be safety measures as well. And so therefore we can have events, like you said, networking events, conferences, and so
anniversaries, birthdays, corporate gatherings, because if
engagement
you're working from home,
parties and so on.
yeah.
Maybe people will move away from hotels.
I think if people are working from home more often, they're going to want to get together more as companies and to still get that bonding done. So,
Yes.
because otherwise they'll all become distant. So I think if you was to offer, corporate events and stuff.
There seems to be a trend that they want to get together every 3 weeks. This magic 3-week number keeps coming up. I've noticed. They've been working on, but we need to sit down every 3 weeks and actually have a face-to-face. People do want that.
Oh, yes. They were talking about oxytocin the other day on Radio 4, and they're saying because we're not meeting people, we're not connecting, but Zoom apparently, just hearing people's voices, that can create oxytocin.
Yeah, well, the other thing which is really good for oxytocin is random acts of kindness, so doing good for other people.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that releases the same.
That's what a lot of people have been doing, haven't they? They're going shopping for their neighbours, and
I've been doing that. I've been shopping for my dad and his girlfriend who are shielding during this time, and so I'm caring, if you like. Plus, also I'm just helping people because I got a bit chewed up and spat out through a divorce and stuff through the last global recession. And I know people are going to be suffering through this situation. And if I can help them in any way to avoid them, that's why I do my podcast and get people on to talk about their business, because then I put that in front of all my followers on social media and whatever.
The other aspect of it, people losing their businesses, but also a lot of people are anxious and so on. And you want to develop your business, but then you feel financially you can't do it because the banks are not lending, they're after you, you're not earning. And so how are you going to increase your business? How are you going to go out and get people in?
It's uncertain times because obviously people are fearing the second wave of this COVID,
Yeah, and then they're going to be depressed, and depression comes inability to do things, inability to be motivated.
Yeah.
That's where wellness comes in, so we should be talking about wellness,
So funnily you said that, because I created a smart happiness formula, which is why I know random acts of kindness releases oxytocin. I call it SMART because I believe if people get good sleep, if they either do some meditation or some mindfulness, if they look after their ability to perform, which is exercise, nutrition, and hydration, so they keep themselves, in good shape. And if they do random acts of kindness, and if they do targets or goal setting and goal achievement, whatever that may be in their life, just reach out and attain things that they want and set those targets. If they do that, if they follow that process, I believe that's a secret to happiness.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Everything you said there, I 100% agree with. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something I want to teach people around the world. I call it the smart happiness formula. And I also come up with a 7-step success formula, which I believe are 7 pillars of success, which is systems, technology, relationships, efficiency, action, marketing, and sales. And if people do those 7 things, they cannot fail to become more successful. Yeah. So if you invest in those 7 pillars of success, and what I believe is if people follow the success formulas, but not the smart stuff, then they could be successful, but not have longevity because they may be not looking after their health, getting the exercise in, letting their brains, recover and all of that. If you put the two together, I call it smart streams, and I think that's the secret to long-term success. I call it the elite business performance formula, because you can invest in those 7.
How much are you selling that?
I'm actually going to be speaking around the world for the rest of my life on those things. I'm going to write books on them, and I'm going to create some online courses for them as well. So that's something I created during lockdown. It just come out to me. The smart happiness formula was inspired by a 5-step happiness program by Jarek Robbins, son of Tony Robbins.
All right.
It was one of the best presentations I've ever heard. And he only covered the 5 steps of happiness as part of a wider presentation. But what resonated with me is I was living the 5 steps at the time. So I had a really great lockdown. I've had a really fantastic time. But I was
So,
living
yeah,
5
so
steps.
did we. So did we. I mean, where we are is beautiful.
Exactly.
because
I seen you putting pictures on, you know, of the lovely weather that we were getting early on in lockdown. It was fantastic, wasn't it? I moved to Penarth Marina at the time, and I was riding around the bay. You know, it was just a lovely part of the world to be spending
Yeah.
some lovely times and lovely days. What I realised is most of my life I've been doing most of that 5-step happiness formula, but I wasn't doing the exercise every day. I would do it now and then when I could or when the weather was good, which is not often enough in Wales. But what I decided to do during lockdown is exercise every day. And I used to play sport as a kid all the time. So exercise is a big part of my happiness, but it was one I sacrificed for business success rather than actually looking after myself and my own mental attitude. And what I realized is I love exercise. And I've been exercising almost every single day since the beginning of lockdown, you know, mostly twice a day. So the exercise.
what sort of exercises are you doing?
I go out on the bike once a day, and I either go out on the bike a second time a day, or I do weights in the house.
Yeah, no, we bought a sort of
A gym.
many pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
So the boys bought whatchamacallit,
The bars, the
workbench.
a big ball, and so they've been going for long walks. But we do about 3.5 miles a day, just walking the dog.
Well, I was going around at the start of lockdown. I was going around the bay, which is about, I think it's either 6 kilometres or 10 kilometres. It's one or the other. So I was going around there regularly, either once a day or twice.
So how much have you lost?
I haven't lost a lot of weight. I probably lost about a stone.
Oh, that's good.
But because I've been doing weights and stuff as well and exercising every day, I've really toned up. Like, you know, I've gone down a lot of buckles on my belt, and you know, I've lost. I've got much more.
Muscle weighs more than fat, so
Yeah, you know, my arms have gone massive. My arms are the biggest I think they've ever been. Like, you know, if you're doing a lot of bars and stuff and dumbbells. But when I was doing around the bay for an hour a time, I was doing half-hour weights in the morning, half-hour weights in the evening. I did that for about 3 months, I think. And then about 65 days ago, I accepted a challenge called #75hard. It's a 75-day challenge. So I'm about 10 days left, I think, now. It was the 1st of June I started it. And the 75-day challenge is a mental toughness challenge. And it's you've got to do 2 forms of exercise a day for 45 minutes. So I tend to do the bike for 45 minutes, then weights for 45 minutes, or I'll do the bike twice if the weather's good or whatever. You've got to read 10 pages from an educational book every day. You've got to be on a diet. You've got to drink a gallon of water, and you've got to drink and no drinking of alcohol. So it's a 75-day challenge.
What book are you reading then, Mike?
So I've gone through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've gone through Think and Grow Rich. I've gone through Grant Cardone's 10X. I've gone through The Power of the Magic of Thinking Big. I've gone through Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy. I've gone through The Go Giver, Bob Berg, which is a really good book. I've gone through loads because I'm not just doing the 10 pages a day, but I'm also listening on audiobook while I go around on my bike.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I've gone through about 6, 7, 8 books maybe during lockdown.
Gosh, so you're doing really well. Frank has been doing DIY
every day.
I've been doing Voucher, which is food.
You're an agent, aren't you, for Voucher?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Tell us how that works.
People buy a voucher and then they redeem it, and I get paid.
Okay, so you're marketing it to other businesses, are you, to advertise on Voucher?
They just do the marketing for me.
Okay. Oh, so you're on Voucher, as in you're offering an offer for the Voucher. What's the offer?
Yeah, and they take a big percentage.
Yeah, is that a health and wellness offer?
Yeah, which is to do with helping people to find out where their intolerances are and what they can do, how they can help themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of writing a little book myself, because
Yeah.
of what I've learned from people.
I wrote a book. So, yeah, I wrote a book at the beginning of lockdown in one day. Took me one day to write the book. Went back to it a few times to edit it, add a bit in, add a bit of colour, but the whole story was written in one day. But it's my life story, and it features my ex-wife. And I got to check with her that it's okay for me to publish.
Possibly libel suit coming along here now. Look.
It's a bit politically delicate, if you like. So I haven't published it yet because I haven't been able to speak to her because she's been in lockdown. I speak to the kids on the phone, but I haven't been able to speak to her to get an okay that it's all right to publish it and what I've written.
Just get it in writing.
It's a warts and all story, and no, hold no punches. Just authentic my life story.
Yeah, because it will help other people.
Yeah, I want to help people because I got through the last recession, and so it's sort of I want to sort of go through what happened to me, how I got over it, and to try and help people through this one, if you like,
Yeah.
You're giving something back, which is great.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason I started my podcast, is because I want to promote the book, so that when the book comes out, I've got lots of people who want to engage with it. Plus, it's called You Can Do It, my podcast. It's a motivational podcast and educational. I do a lot of personal development on there. And it's all aimed at trying to help people with mental health problems, because I knew this lockdown came, people were going to have mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
you can't lock people away and not expect it, I've thrived during lockdown, but a lot of people have gone the opposite way, and it's either one extreme or the other. It's just the same as weight. I personally have lost weight and I've been eating healthily, but other people have been sat next to the fridge consuming all day. There's the extremes. It's just, it all depends how you decided to tackle. To me, lockdown, this crisis was the fire across the hilltops, burning all the bracken ready to grow again. It was an opportunity.
Yeah, that's right.
I looked at it as an opportunity. It's like a rebirth, a reborn, a restart.
Rising, the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it was like, right, this is the time to go full speed ahead. And there's lots of other people I know who've operated that way. But then there's other people who've looked at it as like the crisis and a pandemic and all the rest of that. And they've put on weight, and they're now locked in their own head, frightened to leave the house, all of that sort of thing. So it's just like I'm an eternal optimist. I don't look at the glass and think it's half full. I think, let's fill the glass up, drink it, and fill it up again. You know what I mean? And for some people will look at it and go, it's empty. And it's just the way everyone has a choice. You have a choice to be happy. You have a choice to be successful. You have a choice to look at something in a positive or negative way.
Always yours.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do not realize that they've got a choice.
No, they don't. They've handed the power to other people. They've handed the power to their bosses, to the government, to other people, when actually they got to take back the power. They own their life. There's no one else responsible for them. Stop blaming anybody else and pull your finger out and get on with it. You can do it. It's the name of my podcast.
Yeah, listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
I've set up a podcast as well.
Oh, good.
And I've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which is New Portal TV on YouTube.
Okay, New Portal TV. So Newport TV as well. I like the play. I like the play on words. It's clever.
Yeah, and so what? Myself and my friend April, we started that, and we've interviewed a lot of local people.
Yeah.
You might. Well, that was.
Yeah. I could put that on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll send you. So what I do anyway is I create playlists. Yeah, when I promote other people's videos on my channel. So I upload my own channel in my own playlist, and then I promote others. So now you tell me about that. I'll check it out, and I'll share some of your videos in my playlists. So I've got like a Welsh business news playlist and a Welsh business one. I've also got an entrepreneur chats playlist, which is where this will end up. This will end up in Welsh business, UK business, European business. It'll end up in global business. It'll end up in entrepreneur chats. I got different different playlists for different purposes,
So it's New Portal TV.
Yeah.
And I'm also on Anchor, so I haven't really given it much thought.
Yeah.
And also, I was thinking of putting all our wedding videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, you should have a West Usk Lighthouse YouTube channel as well. I think you have, haven't you? You've got a West Usk Lighthouse YouTube?
No, it's been mostly on Facebook.
Oh, is it? Yeah, well, you should set up a YouTube channel for anything that goes on with the West Usk Lighthouse. And you could
Yeah.
also set up a playlist for when you feature in other videos and get all of those together. So you collaborate all of your content. Because I know you've been on the telly quite a lot, you know. So you should try and get
We were
that
on the
content.
Hotel Inspector.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
They came round to film in June last year.
Again, it's a
Again,
revisit,
the
yeah.
second one, and obviously because of lockdown, they were
It's
going
not
to
been broadcast,
show
yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
lockdown came, and we were on Doctor Who. So we had the second Doctor, the Black Doctor, was, you know, introduced
Ruth,
here,
yes, yeah.
Ruth, and it was her house apparently in the
Yeah.
that episode, wasn't it?
Episode 12. So,
Five.
series 12, episode
Episode
5.
five.
Yeah.
Was you the female doctor's house, Ruth's house, yeah?
Ruth,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
not the normal Doctor, but the because you know she changes. Well, the Doctor changes.
I
all
don't
the time.
actually watch Doctor Who, so I don't really know what you're talking about, but I just know of Doctor Who because of the Doctor Who experience, and you know, obviously
Yeah.
everyone knows Doctor Who, but I've never really watched Doctor Who.
Yeah, so watch
you-
it. It's episode 5 of the current, what was the current series.
Series 12.
And we were on the 100 best British homes as well.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's I watched quite a lot of those programs.
So much publicity, but really we want to get the wedding business off the ground and get as many weddings here as possible.
A lot of lighthouses don't let people stay in them, and if they have accommodation, they're usually in buildings outside of the lighthouse.
Yeah, it's a cottage or whatever, yeah. But
Yeah, have you looked into whether you could get those sort of structures, you know, maybe wooden structures or something where you could build like lodges, you know, coming off the building either side or something for extra accommodation?
Well, unfortunately, Newport Borough Council are quite negative when it comes to things like that.
No, because
it's a Grade 2 listed building, which is not a problem. Caddo are far more relaxed and free-minded and more common sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Newport Council, I can't say the same.
No, because
maybe things have changed.
Because the original drawing is a round structure.
Yeah.
You can't have anything near it. You can't build or have anything near it or build anything near it.
So a friend of mine took on a Grade 2 listed building, a church in the north of England, yeah, and she had to renovate the church into a house, which she did, yeah, and then she put a load of other structures in the ground of the church, and they all had to be built in the same style and with the same materials, etc. Yeah. But she managed to turn a plot from, I think, like £100,000 to buy the church and the land into something like a £1 million development.
Yeah, wow, yeah. Interestingly, some years ago, Pontypridd Museum sent us a postcard of the lighthouse they came across, and it just arrived in the post. Never seen that picture before, but in the picture, next to the lighthouse, you had cottages, round structures, which were residents. There were fishing cottages around the lighthouse. So a precedent had been set all those years ago.
But it's not near. So
I think though, if you've got somebody, if you've got somebody like Richard Andrews, right, who's used to dealing with the council a lot, and he's based in Newport, and he's an architect,
yeah, you know him.
Yeah, and you know him. I think he's been over to see you before, haven't you? If you've got somebody like that to actually work on your behalf and come up with something that the council was happy with, especially with the driver that they're looking for more accommodation. Now, I think it's one of those things which I think if you were 100% determined to get something done, and had the energy to do it, I think you probably could overcome that problem. It's just, it's just a little bit different because you're getting closer to retirement age now rather than building your empire age, if you like. So maybe, like you say, the council, it's just it's just a battle you may not want to get into, but probably at my time of life, I'd probably want to get into that battle, and I'd probably come up with a way of trying to overcome it. And I can understand not wanting to get into that battle, because sometimes you get to a time in your life where you don't. It's not worth the battle's not worth it anymore. Like, you know.
Well, we've won a couple of battles, you know, but there's still a war going on.
Yeah, but it's just sometimes. But it seems to be that obviously with the Newport Council, you've had a few run-ins with them. But I still think if you was to design something in the plot that was in keeping with the Grade 2 listing and the materials and all of that, I think you could still.
You think common sense would prevail, but I know straight away they changed the rules. Anyway, they would consider this to be a floodplain, even though the lighthouse is, you know, is on the highest point in the whole land and the whole area. Still have a problem with it, you know. And I think to put in an assessment, you know, a flood assessment is going to knock you back at least £6,000, you know. But there are issues, you know. There
may be ways around it, but it's just expensive. You may not want to do
really
it.
It's having the finance to do it. You know,
that could be the issue.
You have to do a flood assessment. You have to pay the architect. You have to do this and do that. Well, is it worth it in the end?
Yeah, that's where I say, you know, sometimes, you know, if somebody like Richard Branson come along and bought it or something and wanted to get whatever he wanted built on, he'd probably get it built, but he'd have a team.
Or Terry Matthews,
yeah, you'd have the team of people.
Just do it. Just do it. Say, I'll see you in court. I can afford it. I'll see you in court, mate.
But it's a bit of a different strategy when you're thinking, like, you know, I've got to pay this solicitor for every hour he gets involved in the battle.
Yeah, we have approached them.
Money's power.
Dylan from the Celtic Manor, and I said, you know, we want to sell the lighthouse. Would you be interested in buying it? Well, we said, yeah, give me your details.
Never came back. Did it come back? No.
No, I didn't pursue it, but maybe we should get in touch with them.
Maybe
get them to buy the lighthouse, and then they can develop it.
Yeah, because I think it is right for somebody who's got a bit of money. They could. I think they could develop.
There's a real opportunities here. We haven't exploited the opportunities.
You know, it'll be really good. They could build all these pods around.
Yeah.
You know, good quality pods, and the lighthouse would be like the restaurant.
Yeah, I think this COVID problem is going to be with us for some time. So we know that people are looking to get away in the UK, but they do want self-catering. They don't want to be sharing accommodation.
No.
Self-catering part of the hospitality business is in great demand. Whereas I think the hotels are sharing a room, are sharing a dining room, and the rest of it, I think, is doing this. You know, so self-catering would be the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think, like you say, if you can get those temporary caravans on the wheels, but put them in, you know, and overcome the problem with the putting the gas and the plumbing in and all of that, you know, that's the area. Yeah. But I have met Danielle may have met him as well. We met at Swansea, the MD of Celtic Holiday Parks.
Oh no, I didn't go on that particular.
Go to that one, no, but Bernie's connected with him, and that's a connection, obviously, that Danielle knows and I know as well. Maybe speaking to somebody like that as a consultant, he might be able to find a way around it, because if he's been doing those sort of caravan holiday parks for a number of years, and it's been in the family, he might have ways of overcoming a problem that you don't know how to overcome.
But Mike, we are in an area of special scientific interest.
Yeah.
And we are also on this floodplain. And also we had a tsunami here in 1660.
Oh, 1606. That was the reason I appealed to the Welsh Assembly when they said I couldn't have a Mongolian yacht.
Yeah.
Anyway, they came around and said, I'm sorry, in 1606 there was a tsunami, you can't have a yacht.
Yeah.
I think Celtic holiday parks are in Pembrokeshire, aren't they? Which is, I think, you know, national land or whatever. So, you know, he might have experience of you know, overcoming some things. You know, I think it'd be worthwhile you reaching out to them. I honestly, if I was in your position, I'd reach out and see if there's some, you know, he might want to mentor or help you, or could think of a
I think if you pushed enough and you had, you said they had the energy to do it, I think there would be there would be a breakthrough, because everybody's got to review the future, basically.
Yeah.
The old ways are gone. There's
Yeah.
going to be new opportunities, and rules for the economy are going to be relaxed, so we can get ahead with it all.
Yes. Yeah.
If we don't relax some of these rules,
No.
we're in real trouble.
But you see, for Newport now, you can have the wedding ceremony outside, so you can have an outdoor wedding. So this is what we're pressing for, is that people can come and get married, have the ceremony on the seawall. Which would be really lovely.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be a unique place.
They've relaxed that, but they have to come inside
to sign the register.
A building to register. But to have the ceremony and people outside, I think that would be really lovely. I mean, that's for us is very unique at the moment.
Yeah, you should look at putting some plastic up windbreaks. You should look at putting some plastic up windbreaks so you can still see the view, but you know, because then it would open up your time weather-wise a bit longer, you know, because we always got to worry about the weather in this country, haven't we?
Yeah.
And the wind.
When we put the marquee, it's at the back of the lighthouse. You normally get northwesterlies. So you've got the sea defence and you've got the lighthouse as a shield. So we have got a designated spot by the lighthouse, which is pretty good when it comes to the wind aspect. So that's taken care of.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, it's a bit like Greenbelt area, isn't it? They put all this land and they say you can't build on it, and then at some point they need the houses, and at some point they have to change their mind, don't they? And I think that's what you're alluding to. I think there will be some, you know, some relaxing of rules, and they did it with houses, didn't they? Before you used to have to get planning permission to have a conservatory, but then they come up with a rule that you can, as long as it's a metre or whatever from each of the neighbours at a certain height. Yeah, I think David Cameron put that rule in. I think these planning things, you know, they do close in, and they're all run by committees and people at slow paces and that. Every now and then the government says, well, you know, you're constricting the growth of the economy or whatever, so we're just going to put a blanket rule in that overrules your rules. You know?
And that makes sense. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'd go along with that.
Yeah, so hopefully someone with I was going to say a set of balls, a bit of leadership, you know, somebody to come along and see that the whole economy is being strangled.
No, what we want, Mike, is somebody with a bit of dosh.
Oh, no, that was a general thing.
Yeah, that was a general, but I'm saying before we finish is that we're looking for somebody with a bit of dosh and a bit of drive to buy the lighthouse from us.
Yeah.
That's a lot. We're talking about building up the business, and then Danielle's thinking of selling it. But we
want to build it and then sell it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if somebody's got the money and they want to buy it and they build a business, because the potential is there. Because you're saying that, you know, if we were like 40, you know, it'd be easy for us to fight the council. I'm not saying it'd be easier, but you'd probably be a bit more, you know, wanting to get that battle, like, you know what I mean? Like me, I'd annoy them so much that they'd have to just say yeah in the end. Yeah,
you could just wear people down, like, you know, gradually.
Yeah.
If you become such a big problem, they can get rid of the problem, and that's what you've got to do sometimes with people who are...
Oh no, it's Mike on the phone again. It's Mike. Oh no, he's wearing me down. I'll give it to him. Then give it to him. Get him off my back.
That is how people get their way in business and in life a lot of the time. It's by wearing people down. It's just you become such a big problem that they got to solve the problem somehow. Like, you know,
it's going to go away, is he? Look, it's not going to go away. Give him what he wants. We'll go. Yeah,
that's why I like the saying.
Do you live in Cardiff? Is it?
I'm living in the Caerphilly area again now. I was in the Penarth Marina because I was going to be sharing with our mutual friend Mark, and then Mark went to Spain to do some work on a villa for a month, and he's been there ever since. And that was like March.
We get photographs and texts, and he's loving it. He's loving it.
He's got an email now, so I don't think he's ever coming back.
I think he's coming back.
I don't think he's coming back because I saw pictures of him at a retreat, and I thought, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah, he looks like he's having a great time. In fact, if you do get this buyer come along, maybe, you know, someone who's watching my podcast and listening to
you never know.
Listening to my podcast or watching my YouTube, I should say. But if you do get a buyer, I know your plan then is to go somewhere warm and chill out.
Yeah,
And
we want to go
he's
to
based
Spain
in
and
he's
join Mark.
based in the southwest corner of Spain. You can't get much warmer, really. So
Yeah, that's where
there you
we want to go. So we've got friends there, Mark.
Yeah, and he's invited me over, he have. So at some point when the travel goes mad, I might go over there. You know, when the weather starts getting cold, I think I might go over there and meet his.
I know, because he's by the sea, isn't it? So it's walking.
By Gibraltar, he is. He's like just 20 minutes, half hour away from Gibraltar, like far southwest corner, just
because
a bit further west than
the
Marbella.
retreat we went to was in Gibraltar, and that looks so lovely.
Mm.
It's a yoga retreat place.
How is it? Nice.
And you know, Frank wants to go to. He wants to move to near Malaga.
Okay, yeah.
So that's, you know, our plan is, if when we sell, is to buy a house in the sun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, I think the other option you got, I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but you could just get a manager in and have somebody running the wedding business and the accommodation business while you're away and make an income, you know. So you just get a manager in and they run the show and you just charge a fee and that gives you the income, then the fee, you know. Or you make, you know, you pay the manager and make the difference in the profit margin, you know, depending on how much they make. Or you can give it to somebody else, lease it to someone, you know, and live off the lease.
Leasing is possibly an option. Yeah. There's a possibility there.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways around the problem of you wanting to go to the sun and having this lovely, you know, it's such an amazing business and amazing potential, and what a location as well. Like, you know, it's one
I
of the
think
best
to be
locations.
fair, I mean, I think to be fair, if we were to go down that route of getting someone in, it would work very well as a whole unit, but as one self-catering unit. So you could have a whole family here in a lighthouse, and that would be very attractive.
I think if you did love it so much, and you actually lived in your other place in Newport, and you actually rented it out as a whole concern, it'd be. I think you'd make a killing on it.
Very busy, yeah. No, you would make some really good money from that.
Like it would be for things like you know, like when people come to Cardiff for the boxing, you know, like Anthony Joshua and stuff like that. You know, traveling parties, groups of people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, staying a lighthouse, I'd love it. Yeah.
Yeah, have the whole facility. I think you'd make a killing like that, you know. But I think your problem is you love the place too much. So I think the only place you'd leave to go there from is somewhere warmer abroad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we're just waiting,
love it, like, you know.
We're waiting for the COVID thing to be over and then plan, because my sister lives in Spain, and we've got friends in Spain, and there's Mark. You know,
exactly. Yeah, he'll definitely. You know, his girl who he's met out there runs an events business and a wedding planning business.
Oh, does she?
Does she?
Oh, I didn't know.
In Spain.
Yeah, he sent me her website to have a look at, give her some pointers, like, you know. So I give him a freebie, like a freebie. He always does lots of things for me anyway, so we always help each other out. So I give her an assessment and stuff, but she does mostly wedding events, like, you know, out in southern Spain.
Oh gosh, maybe we could buy a property in Spain and do weddings there as well.
Yeah, well, your experience of weddings as well. Maybe there's a hook up there. Maybe it's worthwhile you going out and staying in that part of the world, having a chat with Mark, and seeing if there's a collaboration together. Maybe she might be. I tell you what, she might be able to do, which might be good for you. She might be able to advertise on her website the fact that she could be an agent booking for people in Spain who want to go to the UK to have a wedding, just like people in the UK like to go to Spain to have a wedding. I don't know if that market exists. You know, Spanish people wanted to come to the UK to have a wedding.
No, people do. They live abroad, but they've got family in South Wales.
Yeah, and they want to come here for the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, well, she might be able to put that content on her website, and obviously, because she's a Spanish business with a Spanish website, she'd be able to attract the Spanish market, which you might not be able to attract from the UK because your website's not in Spanish or it's not based in Spain.
No.
That's the good thing sometimes about having a website registered in Spain, it would rank higher in the search engines, which meant if you put your content on her site, she could be a booking agent for you.
Yeah.
And anyone who wants to come to the, book out a wedding at the lighthouse, you could give her a commission for getting the booking through her website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
can speak to Mark about that next time I speak to him, but
Yeah.
why not? That's a win. I'm all about win-win relationships, and you're winning because you're getting bookings from Spain that you're not getting now.
Yeah.
And she's winning because she's making a commission just by putting your content on her site.
Excellent. Gosh, that's well.
It's another good idea. Just
Yeah,
follow them. Just follow them.
Yeah. So thank you, Mark and Mike. So, Mark, I'm just
You
about
mix Mark and Mike, don't you?
Mark and Mike.
It's easier anyway. A lot. For some reason, people call me Mark quite a lot. I think it's because when I say Mike, it sounds like Mark. Is my
Yeah,
accent.
it does. Yeah.
It's a bit of a Welsh twang there, isn't it?
Yeah.
People call me Mark all the time, so it don't matter. Like.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's been lovely chatting. Are there any other questions you want to ask?
I think we've pretty much we've done an hour. I think we're over an hour. That's about as long as I normally cover. Most of my episodes are 30, 40 minutes. But
We'll put the world to rights.
Yeah, but we just say, if people they want to know about us, they could just say West Usk Lighthouse, Google it, or they could just say Lighthouse in Newport, Lighthouse B&B in Newport, and we'll come up anyway. West Usk Hotel Inspector Lighthouse, we will come up, because I think we're the only lighthouse on the Hotel Inspector.
And to get married in a lighthouse is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, really unique, isn't it? It's quirky, and that's what people are looking for, something a little bit different. Especially, it's an amazing location. Check it out. Check out the drone video.
With our weddings, people can have fireworks, which they wouldn't normally be able to in a hotel.
And what most people like is the quality album, isn't it? The pictures, and like what a backdrop you offer them for their pictures. Like, you know what I mean?
And they can have live entertainment. They wouldn't disturb anyone.
We've even had people that got married elsewhere. They've come back here to the lighthouse, booked in to have photographs taken here, and they even dress up in their wedding gear as if they've got married here.
Yeah, I know.
We charge them 150 quid for that.
Yeah, exactly. But people, again, it's another great location for Instagrammers, global Instagrammers who like.
Yeah, we do get people who come and.
We had one a couple of weeks ago. But what's that woman doing? She's all dressed in a bikini type thing.
Yeah, she was
sitting on the fence here. I think it's a bit cold for that, isn't it? What's going on there? And it was some sort of Instagram thing.
Yeah, exactly. With
her.
People want stuff to stand out in their feed, and Lighthouse is beautiful, isn't it? It's very unique, and it saves out to have another picture of a beach.
Yeah. So, will you have pictures on your Zoom when you upload it? Would you have pictures?
No, I don't do no editing because I'm into quantity over quality. Really, I'm into omni marketing, omnipresence, literally trying to be as many places as possible. And it's all about volume for me because I'm on a mission to become a global speaker. And so the more content I can put out there in as many places, etc., the more people are going to know me, the more you can build up that notoriety, if you like. I don't like to use the word fame. I'm not really into fame. I'm just into trying to become well known so I can share my message to more people.
Sure.
Just there. It's just behind.
Well, you're doing grabbing a picture and showing it,
of the lighthouse to show you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
there's the lighthouse.
Yes, beautiful place, and that's the entrance going up, and just behind it is the sea wall and the beautiful. Was it the Bristol Channel? Isn't it?
Some people got married on the
roof,
sea, on the roof garden.
Yeah, and you've got a hot tub on the roof as well, haven't you? For people who stay, obviously they can't stay now. When are you taking bookings from next year? Is it from January?
And this is Doctor Who, the lady, the doctor.
What's that? Is that your book, or is that a book someone that you've been featured?
No, that's we did that.
Danielle's put it together.
I put that together.
Oh, so it's like a collage.
Yeah, just photographs of.
Yeah, because I would recommend you to put an online version of that.
There's Spencer who came here.
Yeah. I would suggest you try and create an online version of that, like a slideshow presentation, which you could put on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, how
that'd
do
be a
you
good idea.
do that though? I've been trying to find out how to do that.
Well, what I would do is I would take lovely pictures, or use your selection of lovely pictures, or take a picture of that, of all the images in that book, yeah, and then create a PowerPoint presentation. So you put one picture on each slide on the PowerPoint presentation, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the presentation, you could do record video, and you can wait 5 seconds or 10 seconds, then click the button, wait 5-10 seconds, click the button again. So you can animate then that as a video, and then so you save it as a animated slideshow, and then if you're using the latest PowerPoint, when you save it, you can do save as, and instead of saving it as a presentation, you save it as a video, and then you just upload it into YouTube.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you can literally turn any presentation. So you just literally you create a PowerPoint and just put the images on, and then you animate it as a recorded presentation, and then you just save it as a video and upload it into your YouTube.
Yeah, because sometimes Google does that.
Yeah, well, Google uploads does your presentations or something.
Yeah, you know, when you've taken all the pictures, sometimes my phone would
Oh
put
yeah,
you.
on your phone it'll put it into a presentation. Your Google Photos.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
But
it'll do that.
you have to select the photos,
Yeah,
haven't
and
you?
Facebook does it as well every now and then. When you have a friend anniversary and stuff, he'll do a collage of your pictures with the
Yeah,
friend. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's what
also I think on LinkedIn you can upload presentations, and I think it uses a thing called SlideShare or iSlideshare or something like that. So you can put presentations onto your LinkedIn profile as well. So the more places you get the pictures of the lighthouse, the better, because the lighthouse does its job then of selling the location. Because as Phil Spencer would say, it's all about location, 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 and
Yeah, I
unique
know.
location. It's very unique.
We loved it. Phil Spencer, I thought he was going to criticize us, but no,
He loved it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he understands quality and uniqueness. I think he's so and what's really good about your location for people who haven't been there is the serenity of the place.
Yeah, the peacefulness, serenity.
Yeah.
It really is a little pocket of serenity, isn't it? It's a pocket between two big cities.
It's a little oasis, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyone who lives in London and they want to get away to the countryside, please get in touch with us.
Yeah. And what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? Other than the website, what's the best? Other than the website, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you on social? Would it be like Facebook or LinkedIn or where?
Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn. So my name is Danielle Sheahan.
Which is lucky, it's in the recording.
So on your video, you could just put our details anyway.
It's in the recording. The name, your name pops up on Zoom, so I think it might stay in the recording. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's on my Zoom call now. The spelling, so it's DANIELLE, and then Sheahan, which is SHEAHAN.
Yeah.
And if you look and find, you do most of the marketing, don't you, Danielle? Well,
yes.
Frank's busy doing all the DIY and stuff. So.
Yeah. Sure.
So well, it's been great having you both on. I've got to shoot now because I got things to do at 3 o'clock.
I know, sounds right. Well, thank you ever so much for inviting us on your program.
I hope you get millions.
Yes, well, hopefully this will be the viral one that goes miles. At the moment, the most I've had is 84. But that was only done a week ago, so 84.
Yeah.
That could easily be 840 in a year's time on YouTube.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can start earning cash on YouTube.
Yes, that's what the plan is. I think you got to get to 1,000 views or something, or 10,000. I don't know, but without how much content I do, it's only a matter of time, and I'll get to the limit that I get to where I can start monetizing it. Then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, yeah. But my friend, because we've recorded quite a few people, but she wants to do it, every week to release one.
Yeah.
I said, no, just put everything on.
Yeah, just I think, you know.
Okay, we'll let you go.
You go, Mike.
Mike, we'll let you go.
Best. Bye-bye. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, we need to get ready to go to the pub.
Yes. Have a lovely evening.
Thanks very
have a
much.
lovely drink. We're going to have a nice drink. I'm going to have a nice vodka, an orange.
Okay.